we're back. Wow, that was really loud up top. That's too loud, people.
Hey, what's going on?
Everyone's levels through the roof right away.
Oh, yeah.
Another episode of the Middle Easy Fight Fist podcast.
Welcome, Fisters.
You counted
What's
us
going
out,
on?
and we're back.
Yeah, you did, man.
I am always your necklace and reckless host, Dan Lamort, joined by my other hosts. I don't like co-host. I like other hosts.
Yeah.
I like, yeah.
These guys, these fucks.
Papa Luke Tuma.
What's going on, everybody?
And-
And the no longer horny Diego Lopez.
I'm so
everybody.
too tired to be horny. I work so hard. No one gives me credit.
Oh,
But I
man.
will kiss you all on the lips.
Too tired to be horny. That's
Yes.
a good nickname.
Thank you so much.
When you fought, did you have a nickname?
No. And like the funny thing was like when you're backstage, like like doing medicals and stuff, usually the announcer will walk in a line and like get all your information. So
Yeah.
what he has on his card, and like the people in front of me with their nicknames, I would actually laugh, and I felt so bad. I could see him turning around at me. But I did once because they ask you your fighting style.
Yeah.
And most people just say MMA or like a wrestler. I always wanted to say cardio kickboxer. I thought that'd be very funny. But
Cardio kickbox.
yeah, I thought that'd be really cool.
Oh,
So no nickname.
No nickname for Diego.
I think
only
mine
nick-
would have been Stretch Marks.
Well, that's a pretty good one.
Dan Stretch Marks Lamort.
That's a good one.
When I started training and was considering fighting, I told that to my coach, my Muay Thai coach, and he said, you could leave the gym if you want that to be your nickname.
Wow.
So then I said the Joker, but
they
he was
got
like,
a-
that's too hacky.
Yeah. They got a hard time with like being kind of funny. Like they don't like it. They think
Yeah.
you're making fun of the sport.
I always get concerned when I see fighters
That's
with the
silly.
same. Like, there's a guy fighting on the undercard of UFC 224 whose nickname is Soldier of God. So why are you going to pick that when Yoel Romero kind of has that locked up?
Yeah, that's
in pretty
literally his
scary
nickname, right?
fashion.
Dude,
Yeah.
the amount of people that have the nickname Primetime or Showtime, though, is a lot.
Pitbull's number one. I think that's the biggest nickname that people use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like Spider, some variation of Spider, the
Spider.
Spider, Spider spelled with a Y. Like that changes how you say it.
Yeah.
I used to love the nicknames on UFC Undisputed 3, which was the second game for Xbox. It would be because you would pick your nickname and the technology wasn't advanced enough to get your real name. So it'd be like, fighting out of the red corner, Storm.
Oh yeah,
That was like the whole thing. It would just say your nickname.
I don't like MMA. I've never really listened to an MMA nickname and been like nice.
I like Soldier of God. I'm not even religious.
But I do like old boxing nicknames because they're so like charming.
What's better than
yeah.
Iron Mike Tyson?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty good. But like I mean like
Named after a pitching machine, the Iron Mike.
no, I
I don't know
what
which one came first, but there is an Iron Mike pitching machine that's ancient.
Oh wow, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
because it comes right over the top and throws gas.
I've seen those. Those are it was like
Yeah.
the little like hook in it.
Yeah, the little hook on. Yeah,
That's sick. I like that. Yeah, there's like Sweet July Robinson, like just weird, stupid nicknames that like
That's
don't make any
good.
sense. Like things like
Yeah.
that I like a lot. There's a boxer named
Rocky.
Loopy. His nickname is Loopy, and I always really like that.
You know
Really?
what might be the most common name? Sugar.
Sugar's huge.
Yeah,
Sugar.
Sugar's
Sugar's big.
huge,
He's
dude.
sweet.
Anybody with a name starting with S.
Yeah.
Sugar.
There was a boxer that I used to follow. He was a young kid out of Philly, and I can't remember what his name was, but I know his nickname was Fruit Loops.
Oh, that's a cool one.
Yeah, and he was undefeated when I saw him. I don't know if he's still fighting now, but Fruit
Loops.
Loops is a good one. Yeah, I'm all set on nicknames.
What's Adesanya or whatever his name is, Israel Adesanya. What's his?
Oh, the
It's,
wind bender.
Style Bender.
Oh, Style Bender.
That's sick, dude.
Yeah,
I
it's pretty-
love that
pretty-
one.
that's-
That was
it's a good one.
badass.
But I also just like I like
Style
when nicknames
Bender's
are like
great.
really long.
Yeah.
It's like because no one's calling you that.
Yeah, that was
A nickname is something that people call you other than your name.
a
like
lot
friends,
of
but,
people. Yeah,
like-
a lot of these fighters I've noticed are going with like they're making their nickname their social media handle. Like Aljamain does with Funkmaster, Randy does with Touch and Go,
Yeah.
Adesanya does with Style Bender. They just make their
Yeah.
social media handles like at whatever.
Makes sense.
Kind of like a cool little
Randy,
pseudonym
Randy
to go
because
by.
I've seen him go by Rude Boy and then also Touch and Go.
That's why I knew him as
Yeah.
first. Rude.
Yeah.
I remember years ago Henzo tweeting about him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I looked at who it was. I'm like,
Rude
oh, that's
boy.
fucking sick to get.
We got good
tweeted by
feedback on that episode, man. People
like it.
fans
People
are loving Randy Brown, man.
They're like, great job, Diego. You really crushed it on the
Fans
episode.
are loving the absence of
People are
Diego.
like, we like that episode the most. The one without the guy that talks too much is better.
I wonder if there's been anyone who still listens now who's been with us since episode 1 who remembers when Diego wasn't even a host.
Oh,
Melissa?
And just the first guest.
Back then,
I
you're
don't even know if
Harper?
Melissa Harper is like our
Melissa,
first-
Shout out to Hector.
We should shout out.
Hector.
Yeah, fucking.
Yeah, we have a couple diehards. Hector, Melissa, we love you guys.
Kisses to only Hector.
He's not horny anymore. Don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, this
Yeah, I
is like
wonder
friendly
because
kisses.
we gave them a lot of reason along the way to leave, and
Oh.
then we wrapped it back up. There was some episodes where I was like, "How are we classifying?" And I was like, "How's Middle East
bringing
still
up all
posting
our
this?"
faults.
Sure. I think it's easy when they don't listen.
We had one whole episode dedicated. Oh, we're not even gonna get in. It's just
Look, we're figuring
Why
out
would we
voice.
mull over our mistakes?
Yeah.
As a comedic trio, we're
It's good to
figuring out
self-assess.
our voice. It takes a little time. You're enjoying the
you know how
ride,
it is to figure out three people's voices.
It's a lot. Mine's loud.
and we all talk over each other. It's beautiful. What's up with you boys? Dan, I heard you hurt your back. I'm so
Hurt
sorry.
my back. Yeah,
You seem to be doing better, but I don't
I'm
know.
okay. It was a rough few days. It was. It fit who I am. I think. You know, I went to lift a barbecue.
No.
My dad had to prop it up, and you know, I used to be an athlete, so I thought I knew what deadlifting
Right.
form was. So instead of just inching it up, I went to deadlift the whole barbecue, and succeeded, but pulled out my back also.
Jesus.
And it was the first time in my life, in my adult life, where I've sustained an injury and cried right away.
Oh wow.
Like 2 car accidents, never cried. Tommy John surgery, blew up my arm on one pitch, not even a tear. This one, the pain, I thought I broke my back.
Oh my God.
Thankfully, my mom had just got diagnosed with spinal stenosis. Not thankfully.
Well, yeah.
But she just got diagnosed with it, so
Sorry to hear
she
that.
had a bottle of Percocet locked and loaded waiting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she's not doing too good either.
Thankfully, my mom's back's fucked out too.
Yeah, she has reason, though. A patient fell on her when she was a young nurse.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then over time it got worse. I'm just fat.
Yeah.
There's no, unless she could pass, if you could pass down spinal stenosis, I'm fucked.
Yeah. Good point.
I don't know. I think it's
don't
the
think you can
shrinking
once-
of the spine. And to be honest, anytime I hear a disease that has shrink in it, I'm kind of for it.
Yeah. Give me.
Especially right now where I'm at. It's like shrink anything. Just take it off.
Well,
me.
it's all bad. It's all too big.
It's all too big. Yeah. So that was basically my week. I can't remember if I did. And then my grandmother was in the hospital, so I had my grandfather had to stay with us. And he is so far right, but also still so politically incorrect that it's fantastic. I had the most awkward one where we're sitting. This is the grandfather that I told you about. Kiss me and I'll tell you that
That's
joke.
so funny.
Where this wasn't funny, this was just racist. And we were sitting on the elevator
the
of the
judge if it's
hospital, leaving. We're leaving the hospital. I'm here. My mom's behind me, and my grandfather's in the wheelchair. I'm pushing him. And there's a Spanish lady cleaning the elevator. And he goes, "Hi, miss." And she goes, "Hi, sir." And he goes, "Do you do shoes as well?"
Oh, all right.
And then I was like, "Oh, no." Like, me and my mom just put our head in our hands, and he was like, "I'm so sorry."
That's pretty funny.
He
I
apologized
think it's pretty
right
fun.
away.
I actually,
I think I would
I'm a
laugh.
Latino person because that's not really our stereotype.
No.
It's just that she's doing an action.
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
He felt really bad. Though.
I don't know about his political stance, but I feel like that specific joke in that moment,
If
pretty
you want to know about his
harmless.
political stance, I could get you on his email chain.
Oh, please.
Sure, he'll send one out
Do
to
not.
you later.
Lukey, how are you, bud?
I'm great, man. I got this LA trip coming up, so I'm trying
That's
to get ready for
exciting.
it. Yeah, man.
If you're in LA and you're listening to this, book
hey,
Luke.
I'm,
He's
go see
a
Luke.
very competent comedian. I would even say funny.
not as funny as Dan's grandpa, but
That's true. What, do you have a specific goal in LA? Are you,
I have shows booked every night. I'm doing a bunch of running shows. I'm doing 2, like they do like these secret location shows that pack out
Wow.
2 different like producers. So one is on the Thursday the 17th, the other one's on Saturday the 19th. And then I'm doing If You Build It at UCB. Friday night I'm
Yay,
doing 2
Kara.
shows at the West Side Comedy Theater.
Wow.
Sunday I'm doing Chatterbox, which is supposed to be like it's in Covina. It's supposed to be like the best show in
Oh,
LA.
I love Covina.
Yeah.
That's sick, dude. Good. That's gonna have a lot of fun,
Thanks,
man.
I'm excited.
I keep
Yeah.
wanting to go there, but
I haven't in a while,
Yeah.
but
I was supposed to go in September, and then I just didn't. I didn't buy tickets, so
that's an easy way not to go anywhere.
yeah, I was just like, you know what, I'm not gonna go.
I took
Instead, I was like, let me do a tour and hit Arkansas.
Yeah, those hit the fans in the arc.
I took the advice of my buddy Tim Dillon and forwent applying to comedy festivals and spending $30 to $40 a piece and just saved that money. And I'm going to LA this year.
That's smart.
instead. So I think
Oh yeah,
if this
you
goes
get
well,
so much out of the trip.
yeah, I'm going to try to do this instead every year instead of like applying to these festivals in Idaho and like Missouri and then getting denied
Sorry,
from them
Idaho.
and wasting the money.
Yeah, if you live in one of those states, we're not saying anything bad about your state. Just the festivals there probably aren't the most beneficial for a comedian. Also, you should move. That's fun, dude. I gotta go to LA and see some friends and do some comedy and sleep with some people. Who knows?
There's beautiful people out there.
Sleep
Yeah.
with some people.
Who knows who wants to sleep with me
Who
in
knows?
California?
Like I
Um,
got so far as to looking up Airbnbs in LA, and then I was like, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
It's just renting a car. I feel like I wouldn't. I'm not old enough. You're not either, huh?
to rent a car. No, I'm my buddy Alex Gallon, former
Alex,
podcast guest,
hey.
is kind of coming
Guest
with
of the
me.
most listened to episode.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Him and other
Actually,
than our
ally
interviews.
Quinta.
Yeah.
Besides that,
All right.
That's a good one. But yeah, no, he is a bike tour guy throughout the day, so I'm gonna get to use his car, and he's probably gonna come with me to most of the shows. He's on some of the
Rad.
shows.
That's
So,
right.
Yeah,
That's right.
should be
Very
fun, man.
exciting.
Excited
Awesome.
for it.
I'm
Also,
good too.
how are
My
you?
week was good.
What's going
No,
on?
my week's
here?
good. I played my first hockey game of the season.
Did you hit the game winner?
I scored the game-winning goal with a
Dude.
minute
Wow.
left.
That's sick.
Thank you so much. I'm very good at hockey. It was fun. It was really fun being out there. It's roller hockey. That's why I'm from Florida, so I played a lot of that
Yeah.
mostly. I play ice as well, but roller hockey was much cheaper, and I was poor. And it's on. It's called Pier 2. It's over by like Dumbo, and it's on the water overlooking the city. So like you're playing a hockey game and you're just seeing
I've
the
seen
whole
that
city.
before.
That's
I've
amazing,
tried it.
man.
I've seen
Yeah,
it,
it's gore.
beautiful.
It's nuts.
That's
It's
probably
so
so
much fun.
fun.
It's so
Yeah.
much fun. So I'm really excited about that.
So it's roller hockey instead of ice.
It's indoor. It's roller hockey. Yes.
See,
roller
that
hockey
sounds
was big in my town.
roller hockey's
except
fun, man.
Yeah, it's very fun.
I'm not good enough at ice skating to play ice hockey like
Mm-hmm.
recreationally, but if there's I could do recreational roller hockey
Yeah.
and have fun with it.
I mean,
I
these
used
guys are
to
pretty good.
rollerblade
but
it,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
You what?
when I was younger, there was a skate park called Rexplex because all my friends were skateboarders.
Uh-huh.
And instead, I would just rollerblade on there,
Yeah.
and it was so much fun because I wasn't good at it by any
Yeah.
means. I mean, I had a really nice. I remember getting a really nice skateboard too, like with like what Bam Margera used with like
Oh,
the
Bam's the
element
best.
stickers and shit.
Yeah.
And then I stepped one foot on it and fell. I was like, I'm just gonna look at this.
I'm just gonna hold it.
My dad was a huge hockey player though. Loved rollerblading.
Oh, no shit.
Rollerblade hockey in Manalapan, New Jersey is
In New Jersey,
massive.
roller hockey is oddly big.
Yeah, you do that, and then your
That
little
makes
post
sense.
game heroin shoot up.
Nice.
That's really big in the town.
Hell yeah.
I remember one time my dad, he has this problem of just going full speed all the time, even though children are playing, and he gashed the fucking forehead of one of my best friends. He put him in the goalie and was like, "Hey, just block some of my shots."
I remember this. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
you
my
mentioned
dad
this.
just-
Jesus Christ.
Dome rocked him with a puck.
Well, fucking grow up, bitch. Your life's hard.
you want to get into some MMA stuff?
Let's talk some MMA shit. There's a lot of things going on, and we don't read, but we're gonna do our best.
My favorite, before we get into this here's one, is 50 Cent calling out Rampage Jackson
Oh man,
to
this,
fight in Bellator,
It's-
which I don't know what basis he could go off of thinking he couldn't even throw out the first pitch of the Mets game. Like he has
Okay.
one of the most notorious
Oh,
worst
it's
pitches
the
of all
worst,
time.
dude.
I never saw it.
He
Oh
threw
my
it
God.
like
He threw
into
it.
the dugout almost.
Yeah, he released so late. It was so crazy. He
That's so
released like
funny.
while his hand was
Yeah.
past his face.
I know he's like was or is buddies with Mayweather. I've seen him hanging out in boxing
had a-
gyms. I've never seen him hit mitts.
He used to be a big steroid guy too, if I recall.
He
course
was.
he
I
is.
think he was a Golden Gloves boxer when he was younger.
Oh no
I'm
shit.
almost positive.
Interesting.
Yeah, he was pretty
I mean,
good.
that's
also,
the
kudos to him on calling out Rampage when he's at the tail end of his career.
right. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for a while.
Not the
I
Pride
hope they
Days
fucking fight
Rampage.
because Rampage will beat the shit out of him, and 50 Cent kind of needs that.
Yeah, he really seems like he does. But it's
Yeah.
like, it's when was the last 50 Cent hit music wise? Like I can't remember.
Oh my god,
It's just such
long
a
time.
it's such a
ago.
bummer to me when it's like it's so obvious, like a money grab, kind of like a PR
Yeah.
move, which is like ugh.
Because everyone's hoping he throws the first punch and completely misses, just
Yeah.
like the first pitch.
He just punches
a
the floor.
Yeah, he punches. Oh, that would be
Dude, rappers are
hysterical.
not aging well musically.
No,
A lot of them. Eminem is fucking horrendous now.
physically.
No, just like
He did
I
good
mean,
work on
musically.
his daughter, though.
Oh,
Oh, sorry, I thought we were talking physically.
this is just a.
I can't remember the last 50 Cent, although I can't remember the first 50 Cent.
Yeah.
I was a big 50 Cent. I guess Into Club had a great run.
And they were thinking of
But
fighting.
still to this day.
They were thinking of fighting in Bellator.
Yeah, I mean, there was a picture on Instagram of Scott Coker and 50 Cent sitting together, and Scott signing some type of paperwork.
Do you think Bellator is leaning into just becoming this kind of circus act promotion, or
They
do you-
have to.
right?
They
That's
have
because that's
to.
kind of the only way they're
guess, but
going to
they
even
also have
compete.
some great young guys.
They do, but they don't
Not
see.
enough.
They seem to be way more focused on these kind of
freak show.
freak
stuff.
show money
Oh,
fights
of course,
than
it's
the
2018, and we're
grooming
getting
the young
Chael
guys.
Sonnen versus fucking Fedor.
Yeah. I
That's
get
nuts.
it, and because I guess the UFC's so built up now, and is just going to keep going and going with WME and the ESPN stuff, which we'll get to. That I guess their only way of competing at all ever is to make these freak show spectacle fights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's kind of sad.
And
It
I've
really
noticed
feels like the
Bellator has
UFC
toned down the pay-per-view events as well.
Yeah, I feel like in the last 2-3 years, the gap between the UFC and the Bellator and Bellator has really expanded
It used
a
to
lot.
not be as far
It would,
apart.
yeah, it
Bellator
didn't
used to
feel
be
that.
very solid.
Connor really changed everything. It's kind of crazy, or at least elevated things in the sport and for the UFC to a level that
Agree.
it wasn't even close to before him.
For sure.
And even with Ronda, as big of a star as she is, Conor transcended so much and brought it to such new heights in this weird way where he just became this international superstar.
Yeah.
Like a mega star, one of the most famous athletes on the planet. And that did so much for the sport, but also for the UFC where it's like there's these competing promotions all trying to be the top dog. And the UFC was clearly the front runner, but then the UFC already has a lead and then gets this guy who becomes one of the biggest athletes in the planet.
Yeah.
It's just going to propel them ahead
It's
of everybody
huge. Yeah,
else.
it's huge. And like, if right now, without doing any kind of like research or racking my brain too much, the Bellator fighters I can name are like Michael Chandler,
Rory McDonald.
Roy McDonald, Mitrione.
They don't even
Roy
have Ben
Nelson.
Askren anymore. Ben Askren's in ONE
Masters
FC, right?
done. Diego Lima, is he there? I don't even know. It's just like
I think Lima's still there.
I don't know. It's just a big difference in terms of star
Gegard?
power. Gegard's there. That's true.
Which is interesting because when we were talking to Randy, he said that outside promotions can rival paying the same amount. He said like when he told us that when David Branch was in the World Series of Fighting, he was making like an absurd amount of money per fight. Mm-hmm. And like probably more than he's making in the UFC right now.
I bet.
That happens in other sports too. Like obviously Premier League soccer and the European leagues and stuff like that. It's so much bigger than MLS and here in the US.
Yeah.
But the MLS will sometimes the team will just go all out and buy some superstar like Ibrahimovic plays in the US now. Beckham had that contract in the US because they'll just shell out like $50 million.
Wow.
I
And
guess it's kinda
offer
like
enough
be
to
the big
bring these
fish
guys.
in a small pond. Or
Yeah,
fit
and
in.
just having one of those guys is going to be such a bigger star than everybody else in the league that it's going to draw ticket sales to that.
For sure. For sure.
I mean, the Bellator, like it's weird because when fighters leave the UFC and go there, even if they become champion of Bellator, it's still like it's not the same level of respect I feel they're given, even though they're still the same fighter. Mm-hmm. Like what's his name left? Well, obviously McDonald. Mm-hmm. That was a big one, and then didn't Musasi leave?
Yeah,
Gegard,
Gegard,
yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I love him. He's one of my favorite
I was
fighters.
Yeah, he's
surprised with
amazing.
that because he's a great fighter.
So good.
Well, the thing is, I bet those guys, Ben Askren's probably so much more frustrated than those guys are because at least those guys saw a good level of success in the
Yeah.
UFC,
Yeah,
made
for
their
sure.
name, they're pretty prolific in the UFC. Ben Askren's one of the best wrestlers that's ever lived, and he's a phenomenal MMA fighter, and he's never even gotten to take a crack at the UFC. That's why he seems so frustrated.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Because he knows that his time is dwindling as an athlete, but he's still within his prime or not. He doesn't seem to be fading.
Yeah.
And he's like, I only have a few years left to fucking do
Yeah.
this.
He was always the big one to me as to why he never got the chance.
Well, because he has such beef with Dana.
Yeah.
Sucks, man.
Oh, I mean, at the end of the day, Conor has beef with Dana too.
Yeah, but Ben Askren never made Dana any money.
It's funny. I saw a picture of Conor and his wife and his baby from yesterday,
Wife?
or a girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Devlin, her name is, right?
I don't know.
Devlin.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah, and she was wearing she looked gorgeous, and she was wearing this beautiful black and gold outfit, and it looked so similar to the one that Tom Brady was wearing
wore at
at the Met Gala. It
So
was
funny.
it looked like it was designed just him and her one.
Right. And they're like, oh, I'll take that one. And another
Yeah.
couple walks in, like,
That's
I'll take this
great.
one.
Some of the memes that were coming out about Brady were fantastic.
Oh, they're awesome.
Um,
So GSP Nate Diaz.
Yeah, Dana White was talking about it on the Unfiltered podcast, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And he said they're going to fight at 155 pounds,
And they're eyeing 227.
227, which is August 4th, I think, in Los Angeles.
Right? God, dude, that's
Wow,
insane.
the LA card is big. That's one that Randy Brown's trying to get on. Is the LA
Oh.
card?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see the reasoning for the fight. It
Other
makes-
than money.
Money?
other than money and draw. I mean, rank wise, it doesn't do much.
but I feel
Yeah,
like
but
GSP's
they're-
out of that world. Where
Also,
it's
nobody.
Not ranking.
Yeah.
I mean, Dana White's out of that world. I don't think he cares about that, and I don't even. I mean, the diehard fans care about that, but he doesn't care about anything besides promoting the biggest and most profitable fights possible.
I mean, that would draw. So, I mean, that's just such a fun two people to put together.
Yeah.
even two guys who have a good following, like Dillashaw and Garbrandt, aren't going to draw nearly as much as a GSP Nate Diaz fight.
No,
you know?
GSP is a active legend.
Yeah, dude. Think about how good both and how good of a fight and how good both fighters are and how successful both Brian Ortega and Max Holloway are, and how little that fight will probably draw.
Yeah.
Compared to like GSP and Nate Diaz, which is a bizarre fight where it's like a guy who just won the belt at 85. He's an old legend of the sport. And then a guy who fought Conor McGregor at 170 who hasn't fought in a while. And they're both, one of them's going down one weight class, the other one's going down two weight classes.
Yeah.
And they're fighting, and there's no belt on the line.
No.
And neither of them have fought at this weight class. One, I don't think GSP's ever fought at 55, right?
No, he's never fought at 55 in the UFC. I don't remember what he fought at when he fought in the ring. Some weird promotion in Canada where he had an advertiser temporary tattoo on his back. Have you ever watched that fight? But I don't think anybody's ever fought both the Diaz brothers.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's kind of cool.
They were thinking about Conor versus Nick for a little while. That was like a rumor that was
Oh,
circling
I love
around.
that. I love
That'd be
Nick.
amazing.
Nick was the fighter who like got me obsessed. Really.
Oh yeah,
Where he's like my favorite fighter.
he's so cool.
yeah,
man.
he's the coolest dude.
I got so happy when I heard that him and Bisping was a thing, and then it wasn't a thing.
That would have been so
quickly.
much fun to watch.
Just to see both of them. I love watching Bisping fight, even though he got handled in his last fight, right? Who knocked him
dude,
out?
GSP.
Was
Even
GSP.
more than that fight, would love to watch that press tour.
No, that's the real fucking show.
Nick Diaz versus Michael Bisping,
yeah.
two of the best shit talkers
two
ever.
people who literally don't give two shits.
No, they're never gonna stop.
I feel like they almost would like each other.
Yeah, they would.
like they would
man.
actually like each other.
Because they're both legitimately tough guys that are witty
Yes.
and good shit talkers
Yes.
and really, really are not scared.
Yeah.
Listen, if that's confirmed, GSP versus Diaz, if that ends up getting confirmed at 155, we need a catchweight fight of John Jones versus Brock Lesnar on the same card.
Oh my god.
Just give it to us all.
But Brock's not coming. He re-signed with the WWE.
That we know would be amazing.
And apparently there's a clause in the contract where he can't fight in MMA or something I was reading today.
Oh really?
wonder-
I don't know. I can't. I just read things and say it out loud
Dude,
without
same.
confirming.
I
just
wonder
look at
if
them.
they're thinking of
Don't fact check.
I wonder if they're thinking of having that fight in August and then having the winner face Conor, because they've tried to get Conor. They've wanted Conor Diaz 3.
makes
That's the
sense.
big one everybody's talking about. And then they thought about Conor versus GSP is another big one since GSP's back in the mix. And Conor's fought at 170, and now I guess GSP's fighting at 55, which
Yeah.
means that'd be fine.
And if it's a
And-
clean win, they could easily turn around and the winner could fight November in New York.
Totally, that would be
That's
insane.
that actually seems like what it might be.
It's so crazy that because Conor's so far removed from the sport right now, or at least has been for the last year and a half of it. We've talked about it before that this was going on in Atlantic City, but the fighters are all kind of eyeing. The two guys they're eyeing are GSP and Diaz. All the 55ers and 70 guys are all talking about, I want to fight George St.
'cause
Pierre,
they
I
sell
want
the
to
fight.
fight
They don't
Diaz.
got to do any work.
Totally. Those are the big, with Conor out of the way, those are the two biggest money fights, and
Yeah.
everybody knows that. And it's so interesting. I mean, Dana's such a brilliant promoter. The idea of having them face each other is phenomenal.
Yeah, I like it. I think
And
it's
then
smart.
having the winner face, he'll keep making money fights with that. But I think we kind of got to give up on the idea that the fights are going to be to advance people in the rankings, or that they're going to be
that's-
sensible fights ranking wise. They're
Yeah.
never going to be that anymore.
No, it
now
doesn't. It's a part of it.
yeah.
It's something they
Especially
can talk
now
about.
with Walt Disney
Right.
taking
With this
over.
weird.
I saw I don't remember which MMA publication it was, one of the big ones, trying to add their sense of humor into an article about the merger. Like, what are we going to get now? Mighty Mouse versus Mickey Mouse? And I was like, this is why you need more comics in MMA.
Yeah.
So that
Yikes,
doesn't
dude.
happen.
Ugh. That obviously, but that is a fucking huge deal. UFC being.
Yeah,
But they're not-
no
I
more
don't know what-
Jewish fighters now.
Oh wow, that's a very good joke. That's
better than Mighty Mouse versus Mickey Mouse.
The listeners don't know that's because Walt Disney hated Jews.
Yeah, that's not an us thing. It's a Walt Disney being a piece of shit.
That's not the Fight Fist podcast
Not at all.
advocating for no more Jewish
If we were
fighters.
more famous, it would be Fight Fist Podcast hates Jews.
Yeah, that's very different.
Oh, before I just want to. I was looking. I'm headlining Zanies in a few weeks, and I'm like on the front of the website, and it says like Gotham Comedy Live, Fox's Red Eye, Middle Easy Fight Fist Podcast.
Hell yeah,
Hey.
bitch!
They put it's made it into the top tier of my credits.
Congratulations.
Yeah, if any of us gets a late night set, we have to. This guy has a podcast. I'm not doing one of those. You could see him at the New York Comedy Club.
No.
No.
It's a podcast.
Yeah.
This guy has a Instagram. Please DM him. The only thing that I really saw that stuck out was that someone said that Disney's going to be paying per card to the UFC $800,000. So
Wow.
like the fighters should be making more money now.
Yeah.
But let's see if it happens.
I wonder what this means for Reebok if Reebok maintains its sponsorship, or if they could go back to doing. everyone just has a different Disney character on
That's
their-
very funny. Yeah. Like they look like teenagers or kids at a sleepover, a goofy
Yeah.
kit. I don't see why it would affect the Reebok deal, but I don't know how much longer that deal is in effect for. I feel like
Yeah.
it's coming up.
Part
to
of me
end
likes to think it
soon.
was recent, but then I was watching videos of like old fights, and I was like, oh, Reebok had this for a while.
What
I feel the opposite.
Really?
Where I'm like, I watched Frankie versus Cub, and in my head, it was Reebok deal's already happening. It's like, oh, the first Frankie Cub, they're like just wearing like dynamic fastener logos all over him, and like
I
it's
miss seeing
whatever.
Muscle Farm logos.
Yeah, man, I like that part of UFC. I really did, or MMA. I really liked it. I don't like the Reebok.
you don't like that being
world.
tied down to one company?
No, because I think the cool thing is like it showed. Like I loved that Mighty Mouse's only sponsor was Xbox. I thought that was cool as shit.
Yeah.
It shows like a part of the fighter's life sometimes, and it shows like brands that I would want to support maybe a little more because they like
Man,
fighters.
No, you're right, because it's like golf lets them have their own sponsors. It's an individual sport. It's not a team sport. Let
Exactly.
the guys be individuals. Yeah.
Exactly. I
And,
think-
and it was-
and I don't like anything that fucks the fighters over money wise.
No.
You know, because anybody who's outspoken has talked about how little money they get from the Reebok
And the
deal.
annoying thing is like that's why I think Dana gets annoyed because people don't trust what he says. It's like, but you lie. It's like he's like whenever there are interviews about the kits, and he's like, "There's a much better deal for the fighters. Trust me, you guys have no idea." And fighters like,
Yeah.
"This sucks.
Yeah.
My kids are hungry, and I have to wear fucking ugly ass walkout shirts." That's the biggest bummer. I think the quality of walkout shirts has plummeted. Insurmountable. Like it's nuts. They're
It's
not cool anymore.
individualistic anymore. It's just all conformity.
Stephen Bonner for a little while, I don't know if he still does, has his own t-shirt company, and they would make walkout shirts, and they were like caricature kind of drawings, and they're very
that's
much
awesome.
based on the fighter themselves. They were so
I
cool.
would walk out in the Bernie Mac. I ain't scared of you, motherfucker jeans.
that'd be such
with
a
his
sick
face spray
walkout.
painted
Yeah.
on my
Yeah.
jeans.
Oh,
That's
man.
right. I didn't even think of that, how cool they could be in their walkouts if they were allowed to dress the way they wanted.
I mean, there's
It'd
that
be
guy
like
in
boxing.
Bellator who comes out like a caveman.
Yeah, what was his
Yeah.
fucking name?
The caveman.
But his name.
Dude,
What's his
there have been
nickname?
some cool ass walkouts.
He was sponsored by Onnit. I remember he was one of the first fighters sponsored by Onnit.
Dude, boxing has such cool walkouts. Some like Mayweather's are always cool, and then remember Prince Nassim?
I
His
love
used
Prince
to-
Nassim.
Oh, he's one of my
He'd be,
favorite
he'd be
fighters. man.
lifted by like people. That little
Oh yeah,
shoulder sling thing, like pallbearers.
totally.
So the,
Yeah, they had a throne.
I wonder if any comic has ever been offered sponsorship.
I know Che has sponsored by Superdry.
Really?
That's why he was wearing those sweaters.
Oh,
But I think
man,
that happened in a reverse
Like
way.
you just have to end every set like, "Thank you, I'm Dan Lamort, sponsored by Muscle Farm."
No, I think it's you just wear it. I mean, if I was sponsored by Muscle Farm, instead of a water bottle on stage, I'd have just a blender bottle, like a shaker bottle with a logo on it. That's the move, man.
Vince Staples, the rapper, is sponsored by Sprite. And he almost like he's known for being really funny.
He's
and
very funny.
Yeah, he's like really witty. And he does this thing where he like anytime he's in an argument with someone on Twitter, he'll like type a 6-tweet rant and then he'll end it with, "And please
That's
drink Sprite."
so
like it's
fucking
always
funny.
it's kind
That's
of
so goddamn
sarcastic.
funny.
Yeah, it's always kind of sarcastic, but it does probably fill the requirements of whatever his deal is with Sprite.
Exactly.
Dude, you know it. Someone like McGregor or any of the Diaz's, they'd be great with that if they had the ability to do that.
I would like to be like if for some reason I did well in my career, I would like to be sponsored by like a clothing brand that's not like how like that doesn't have logos necessarily. Like, it doesn't say
Yeah.
their name, but they're just like a nice like there's a brand called Todd Snyder that I really love. They make beautiful menswear,
Yeah.
but it's very expensive, and I only have a few pieces from them because I'll find them at like nice secondhand stores, and it's just like. I would love to just get free clothing so I do it on a show.
yeah. My buddy Shane, who went to high school, had started his own clothing company called Red House, or maybe it's Red Farm. Sorry, Shane. And
Fat
we
Farm.
we have we have an agreement that my
Red Cross.
my next time on TV, I'm gonna wear one of. He's gonna design a custom shirt.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And like it's not even gonna be about the logo, just a little bit of a logo.
yeah.
But yeah,
Because it's good for them. It's advertising for them, man. It's
Yeah.
it's a win-win. I get to look sexy on TV, and then people get to go, "Hey, where's the shirt from?" And you
my
go, "Go buy the
favorite
shirt."
was the last Bellator card where Fedor was on when one of the Gracies fought.
Nyman.
Yeah, and he was sponsored by E Clean Bro.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was purposeful, but he had the logo right on his butthole.
Oh, nice.
Which
like
is
small or like.
No, like a big E Clean Bro.
Oh,
right
they
on
meant like
his
it was like this
butthole.
big, like an inch
it
by
looks like
diameter.
He made it look like his asshole was begging him to eat clean.
I took
was on
it
his
as he
butt,
has a
not his
clean ass,
asshole.
and he wanted his asshole eaten.
Sure.
On his
It was like right
asshole.
in between the cheeks.
Okay, how big was his logo? You're making it seem interesting to me.
Pretty big logo.
Okay,
It'd be
all right,
funny
all
if it
right.
was really small. like
Yeah,
the
that's-
size of
that's-
an asshole.
That's what I'm talking about. But a butt logo, that's just normal. That's just good branding.
be
Be clean,
so-
bro. Go
No wonder why
support
that
them.
tweet didn't do well.
Hey, you know,
Why not try to bring it back now?
I'll get a crack on the pod.
Yeah, I was like, this will work.
Do you guys want to talk about the next UFC card?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
UFC 224, I believe. Is that? Am I right?
UFC 224,
224.
In Brazil.
which is always
This
an interesting
Saturday?
because it's
In Rio.
shock loaded with Brazilians who will win a decision even if they didn't win.
This is an interesting point that someone, one of my students pointed out, Danielle, that this is the first time the headlining fight is two gay people. Both.
interesting.
Yes. Pennington's married
Pennington
to...
is engaged to Misha. No. Oh, God damn it. Tisha Torres. Is that the name?
Yes, Torres. I
Torres.
love Torres.
She's such a good fighter. I love her boxing. And the champion, who is escaping my mind right now. What the fuck
Amanda
is
Nunes.
Nunez? She's also.
Isn't she engaged to a fighter?
She's engaged to a UFC
Yeah.
fighter, or they're dating. I don't know if they're married. They're not definitely not married.
She shouted her out, saying she's going to be a future champ when she beat Ronda. Remember that?
So that's cool.
Yeah, man. It's
I don't
great.
think that there's no out male fighters, right?
No.
That I can think of.
No, I don't know if it would be accepted.
That's a weird thing. Why not? I don't see what. I mean, yeah, I'm
Because
obviously
of-
very, very progressive, but it's like I think it's funny that, or not funny, but interesting that it's a cool thing that these female, it's being celebrated that these female athletes are
Why
out
can't-
gay.
I
but
guarantee
think
there's a gay male fighter.
I guarantee you. But I think because it leans towards a stereotype. That's why people are okay with it. Or at least the regular day-to-day fan is like not
That's
upset.
a great point.
It just leans towards a stereotype of aggressive women being gay. It's like, well, that's not as progressive as it should
the
be.
old butch stereotype.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to see, I mean, I'm looking forward to the day where there's out men fighting because it's like,
Yeah, I
such a
was
silly thing.
There's something that doesn't match
You
up
gonna make a
between the
comeback?
yeah, I come back.
There's something that doesn't match up between the machismo of fighting and the
Good word.
idea of like male homosexuality. There's like
Mm-hmm.
and it should, but we're not at the place where it does yet.
Unfortunately,
to
yeah.
everybody.
Like, that
That's
was like
why
in baseball. There's no openly gay baseball players. Said it was the most gay thing I've ever done in my life was play baseball. The homosexuality that rages throughout the sport.
I mean, there's no openly gay current NFL or NBA players.
Right. That one kid got drafted. I know he never.
Michael
he
Sam?
Never, yeah, he never made it.
Yeah, he never
sucks.
made it. Jason Collins said he was gay like at the tail end of his career, but he's not in the league anymore.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame people for not, first of all, coming out while they're playing. That's a lot of eyes on you for the wrong reason necessarily. Like, I just want to
Yeah.
be judged by my abilities on the field or on the court, not what I do in the bedroom. That's not
I
like
bet Colby
affect me.
Covington's gay. He
I mean,
seems like
he's doing a
hiding
lot of fucking hypocrite, like
He
not
seems
hypocrite,
like
but
he's
like
hiding a lot. He seems like he's trying to be too straight.
And we know
Exactly.
all
Yes.
gay people are hypocrites.
that's a very good point.
He called out Joe
Thank you.
Rogan. Did you see that last week?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
What did he say?
Because Joe Rogan said he has to watch who Colby Covington runs his mouth to because he was talking shit about John Jones.
Yeah.
And Joe Rogan was like, when that guy's standing in front of you, he's just going to slap you silly.
Yeah.
So then Colby responded like, Joe Rogan, next time you're in front of me, I'm going to slap you. And and then on his next podcast, Rogan was just like, hey, can you please not do that?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to get slapped.
That's the thing, man. I like that Joe's. He is a tough guy, but he's obviously like doesn't like. He's like, no, I don't want to fight anybody.
Yeah, and he knows his place. He can't fight the people he announces fights.
Exactly.
It'll be amazing to see.
Just stop having MRA guys on your
He
podcast.
also has the thing like you have this, and I work with a guy who's like a phenomenal boxer, and we've worked with other people who are like always talking about trying to street fight people and like trying to be tough guys at work and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And I've noticed with you and him and Rogan's got this thing too. Guys who have fought competitively in the past never have this thing where they have to constantly prove that they're good, adequate street fighters.
Right,
And
right.
I'll kick this guy's ass. I fought this guy, blah, blah, blah. Guys who have actually fought competitively, because you have, you feel
Yeah.
no need to prove that in conversation.
Yeah, it's done.
And that's what's nice about Rogan is he's such a musclehead, and he looks like such a meathead, and he's clearly a very testosterone-filled guy. He doesn't do this thing where he's like constantly talking about kicking people's asses.
yeah,
And
I heard he has
also-
a podcast too.
Dude must have a crazy ball sack.
No, all right.
Sorry, I thought we were on the topic of gay.
Oh, okay. Sorry, you're a step behind me there for a second.
That'd be crazy if Colby Covington and Rogan sorted their issues out by fucking.
Weirder things have happened. Let's go down the line. Main event.
Yeah, I don't know, the prelims, I mean, I guess the highlight of the prelims is probably Junior Albini's fighting. He's a good fighter.
That's
but
great.
The prelims aren't. It's not the strongest card that the UFC's put out. But
Yeah,
I'll
we don't have to
definitely
do the
watch it.
prelims.
The main card first fight is
Nunez.
something that I'm sure you'll see in Bellator soon as Vitor Belfort versus Lyoto Machida.
Ugh,
Very sad. Very, very
just
sad.
have it at a holiday barbecue like it's gonna happen anyway. That's depressing. I mean, Machida isn't bumming me out as much as Vitor, just because the drastic change in body composition between TRT Vitor and normal Vitor. It just looks it's crazy different, and I just I'm in no place to tell people what to do with their life, and I don't know where they stand financially, and I understand that. But to me, it just makes MMA look bad.
Yeah, well, I mean,
as a
Vitor's
sport.
been very vocal that this is his last fight.
Even more
Right.
so than I mean, and it's fine if it's his last fight, but more so than making MMA look bad, I'm just worried about the health of these guys. Going into the later part of their
Vitor, we
life.
care. Come
it's
home.
just sad.
Yeah.
You don't want to. I don't want to see Rashad Evans fight anymore.
Right.
It's sad,
It's
man.
sad.
You're gonna be really hurt when
Yeah.
you're in your 60s. It's not okay.
That's the crazy thing about MMA
It's
is
not
that
going
it's
well
such a new
anymore.
sport that we don't have a lot of data to go off of guys who are currently in their 70s.
And we're
Exactly.
And we're gonna see.
dude.
I mean-
Absolutely, that's what happened with football, man.
Yeah,
and
and,
it's gonna happen.
that fight, what I thought was interesting was I saw an interview with Vitor, and the woman was asking him about his legacy. And he was like, listen, I got popped a few times from Musa. He's like, I'm okay being a polarizing figure of MMA. He's like, I'm comfortable enough to know I left a legacy in this sport, and I left a good enough platform for guys to follow my footsteps.
Okay.
He's like, all I care about is that I kept the sport alive and that I made things interesting. It was such a cool interview.
agree.
Yeah, man,
It
I
made me
thi-
respect him because I'm not the biggest Belfort fan, just because of the fact that
He's Brazilian.
Brazilian and that he raped Bisping's eye. I mean, he single-handedly destroyed it.
I think that anybody who's a real diehard MMA fan considers Vitor a legend.
Oh, he's a
Yeah,
legend,
yeah,
100%.
Yeah, for sure.
It's-
All right, so Machida.
I wrote down Belfort wins second round knockout.
Oh,
I don't. That
I got the
means he has
opposite.
to make it, but I think if Machida wins, it's going to be a decision.
Oh no, I have Machida by knockout.
I have.
I'm gonna go first round. I'm gonna go nuts. I'm gonna go Machida first round KO.
I'm going Belfort by decision. I think
Okay. Wow.
neither of them are going to be too aggressive because they're old and that they're going to be in Brazil, and Belfort's going to get the decision.
Okay,
Belfort is.
they're both Brazilian, just so you know.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Maybe
I'm
they'll
still
just,
going Vitor by
Okay,
decision.
okay.
That'd be nice if it's just a great fight and it's
forgot
just
Leota's-
a draw. Both leave the gloves in the octagon and walk out,
hand
hugging
in
each
hand.
other as the first openly
all
gay couple.
right, cool. I think I don't know if it's gonna be a fun fight, but it's definitely
No.
gonna happen.
Belfort's fun because he has the ability to either get tagged once to get knocked out or tag someone once and knock them
Good
out.
point. Good point. What's
Yeah.
next?
Next is an interesting fight where I'm definitely taking the underdog John Lineker versus Brian Kelleher. Brian, who is a Long Island fighter and probably a future guest on the podcast. He's had a real good run of things. He kind of started his career a little shaky and then really stepped it up and started fighting real tough.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, also then the flip side is that Lineker has fought a who's who's list
Yeah.
of everyone. He's still the 6th ranked fighter.
Really?
Yeah, I mean Lineker's
Oh, no
still a
shit.
great fighter.
Yeah, that's why in my head I'm like, oh, I like Lineker.
Brian just seems so hungry from what he was telling me when we chatted. His camp was fantastic. So my pick would be Kelleher wins 3rd round submission. He's a good submission guy.
Okay.
And Lineker has been submitted before.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we'll
yeah.
see.
Man, that's a good. That's a good.
I think that's going to be a good fight.
Man, I don't really have a very educated. Prediction?
Brian's very new to the
Yeah,
to
I don't know him that
spotlight.
well. I'll check out.
This
some
might be his
footage.
first main card.
Yeah, I'll follow your lead on that one. I'll go Lineker winning. I'll jump on submission. Sure, why not?
Or you Kelleher, you mean?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, who gives a shit?
I'm going to go Lineker second round knockout. Sorry, Brian.
Oh, hey,
But yeah, Lineker's a beast, man. The only loss he's taken in his last 5-6 fights has been to Dillashaw, which you can't really blame him for that. Dude's got a fucking iron chin. He's tough as nails, and he's got a.
I was reading someone
he's
saying all Kelleher has to do
insanely
is just
powerful.
mimic Dillashaw.
Oh, that's it? Just
Oh, yeah.
mimic a
Lineker
great
had no
fighter?
answer
Just mimic
for-
the movement
Yeah.
of possibly
All
the
right.
best technical fighter.
What's next? Yeah.
Next is a fan favorite, Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Cooper.
I love Mackenzie. She's so cool, and jiu-jitsu is great. And also, I have an enormous crush on you, Mackenzie Dern. The very interesting, the unlearning of English she has had in her last couple years. But who's her opponent?
Amanda Cooper.
Again, I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, I don't know much about Amanda. I mean,
Um,
she's fought one time in the UFC and has won by a decision. It's hard for me to not imagine Dern submits her in the first round.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
say Dern second round.
I'm going to say
But-
Dern first round.
The thing about Dern is that her outside of her grappling and jiu-jitsu, she's still a very new MMA
Very new.
fighter.
Yeah, very
I mean,
new.
her she has to have the ability to take Amanda down, and even just she's going to need to use strikes. It all depends on what her striking's like. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sure she obviously knows that that's one of her flaws and worked on in her camp, but I can't see her losing. She's what the UFC needs right now. She's going to be a big name, I think. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, I'd say Dern wins.
Dern, yeah.
Next up is the co-main event.
Co-main event?
Yeah, Jacare versus Gastelum.
Oh man, that one's gonna be tough.
Amazing fight.
That's a really. I keep being impressed by Gastelum. Like he keeps surprising me.
And I keep getting impressed by Jacare.
They're both so good.
doesn't
I've been a
seem to
huge
get
Jacare
worse.
fan because I love any guy who does well in competition jiu-jitsu and transitions over well to MMA. He did great in Strikeforce.
Yeah.
He's such a fucking hard
he's a
person to
beast.
fight.
I'm a massive Gastelum fan.
Yeah.
I love him. He's one of my favorite fighters to watch.
He's had a weight issue, right? That's the thing with him.
Yeah, but
in my
he's-
head, the flag that was raised, I'm like, he's not make weight.
Yeah.
But they're fighting at 85. He's such a small 85er.
he's
He
finally
got
at the
forced.
weight he needs to be
Yeah, he
at.
got forced to fight it. And honestly, based on if you look at him, the amount of body fat that he has, he could easily be, not easily, but he could definitely be at 170.
Mm-hmm.
But he has a problem with his diet. He eats like, he's from Mexico, and he'll talk about it. He eats like full like enchilada, like he'll eat full Mexican meals, rice and beans leading up to the fight. And like he missed weight by like 11 pounds one time. Like one of his
Jesus
last
Christ.
times fighting.
Yeah,
at
it's like, you know, you're a professional.
So Dana forced him to fight at 85.
Yeah.
But what's weird is he's so small for 85, and he was such a perfect fit. He wasn't even big for 70 at all. And so he's a super undersized 85er. He's been fucking great.
Yeah.
Phenomenal at 85. And he's just a great competitor. He's just one of those guys that's a gamer. His hands are insanely fast, but even more so than that, he's just insanely good in competition. He's not this physical specimen by
Yeah.
any means. He's not like a technician in one way or another. He's not like the best striker of all time. He's not some jiu-jitsu specialist, but he's just a guy who competes so hard and he just delivers every time. And I love watching. Plus, he's like 25.
Yeah.
It's just sick.
You might be his best hype man.
I love
That's
Gael
great. Yeah,
Gastelum. He's one of my favorite
convinced now.
fighters.
No, I'm saying Jacare by
I'm still on
decision.
Jacare. If I recall, Weidman submitted Gastelum, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and, just watching a highlight reel of Jacare submissions, it's hard for me if he gets Gastelum down. It's hard for me to not think he doesn't submit him.
I
Yeah.
think
I would say by the third round.
I think Gastelum's in his prime, and judging by the way he tuned up Bisping, I'm going Gastelum second round knockout.
That's be a great fight.
Yeah,
I
it's
could go either way, and it's
It'd be
the
a fun
two
one.
guys who they bring such different aspects to the octagon. This will be fun to watch.
Yeah.
There's not much to say about the main event, which is Nunez versus Pennington.
I have a lot to say about it. How dare you?
I mean, all I have to say is first round knockout. Nunez
Really?
wins.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
Pennington. Pennington's fought good people, but after watching Nunez fight Bullet Shvenko and beat her, and then send her to another division,
Yeah.
that no one's going to beat it.
That's a good
Nunez
point.
is fantastic.
Yeah, I agree
Her
that-
striking is just for the division. She's just so fun to watch. She throws hands with I always go back. There's two clips I always watch. It's her knocking out Rousey. I always watch that clip. And then McGregor saying, "Who the fuck is that guy?" It's like the two most watched MMA clips.
Those
of
are good
mine.
ones. Those are damn good ones.
She's so good, man. She's almost underrated or underappreciated too, as far as like her dominance. And I mean, that Rousey fight was so hyped up, and she won so dominantly, and
like
was
embarrassingly so. Like
embarrassing.
depressing. Like, oh my God, what would we?
Yeah.
It felt like a fog was lifted off MMA fans. Like, why do we care so much
And
about Ron? Like,
It was,
then
she won
was-
so impressively that instead of going at Ronda, they went at Edmund.
dude, and then was so charismatic and cool right after she won, shushing the crowd in the post-fight interview, and she just
The
she's
lion mask.
great. Yeah, I mean, great personality, unbelievable fighter. She's
They don't seem
got
to
the
push
knockout
her.
power.
They don't seem to
It's
give her the-
weird. I mean, yeah,
If
she's.
you remember when Holly Holm beat Ronda, she was on Fallon the next week.
Yeah.
Amanda's
good
got
point.
no promotion.
I mean, this
I
might be.
I don't know for a fact, but I don't ever recall seeing Nunez.
Michael
on a late night show.
Rappaport made this point where he was like, it's bizarre how little push she gets being the first gay champion in MMA. She's a lesbian woman who grew up in the favelas of Brazil who's got knockout power and is a phenomenal striker and knocked out the biggest female star in the
Exactly.
history of combat sports in
What does
48
she have
seconds.
to not promote?
It seems. I mean, this might be me being a ethnic person. It seems like the UFC doesn't really push like brown people as much as they push white people. I don't know. It might be just my gut feeling in this
Boom.
moment, but it really doesn't seem like it. I mean, other than like John Jones.
And Cormier.
Which is weird because
I guess they're in the same division, but
the fan base is so diverse. Although, I mean, I guess it's diverse depending on where the fight is held.
Maybe they pushed her hard in Brazil, Pete.
I
Like,
mean, they are giving her a main event in Brazil after Dana said he was never going to give her another main event.
Right.
After she pulled out.
oh,
Are
yeah, I
there-
forgot about that.
Yeah. He said she was never going to headline another card, and yet here she is.
Huh.
are there any other people of color that you think don't get the push that they should?
Mighty Mouse?
Yeah, but don't you think that's because he's never going to put on an exciting fight for the fans in that it's going to be competitive?
That's not
Unless
his
he fights
fault.
Dillashaw.
Yeah.
It's not his fault, but
He's getting
this
punished
is
for being the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not his fault, but this is a money game.
Sure.
You know, it's more about money than it is about actual
Maybe it's
fighting.
more of a English as a second language thing that I feel like, because like
That I would totally
that
agree
I think it's hard. They might think it's hard to push a person who like isn't as fluid with their language as well as another fighter. Maybe I don't know. That was just my gut feeling in the moment. I'm not gonna say
Yeah, no,
I've thought about this and
it's
have
just
like
interesting though, because Woodley always talks about that, and I think there probably is, not that the UFC is racist necessarily, but there's a lot of truth to what Woodley's saying.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's some of what he's saying, and that's something he's talked about a lot, and that's something I know he gets a ton of shit for from the MMA fans.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I just like to look at both sides of it. I do think the English second language thing is a good point because they're pushing Stylebender like crazy,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. It's like he's a person of color, but he's also like phenomenally well spoken. He sounds a lot like John Jones,
yeah.
you know, and he's a good shit talker. So it might be a thing where they're
Great dresser,
only
too.
pushing people who can speak really clearly and really confidently.
yeah, they're good on the mic.
Yeah, they're good on the mic.
I don't know. Maybe
But
it's
then
just
the
a gut
flip side
feeling.
is Stipe, who is the worst on the mic. I
Oh,
bring
yeah.
it up all the time.
And he's the guy that doesn't get enough push.
He doesn't get much of a
Even
push.
I'm watching
Probably,
the
I
new
mean-
season of Tough, which is him and Cormier are coaches,
Mm-hmm.
and Stipe's just in the corner going, and I'm just like, what is this guy saying?
I
And
think
Enunciate.
I honestly think Dana White could give a shit less about race or anything that doesn't involve money. I
Yeah,
think
that's a
it's
good
just a money thing.
Agreed.
And I think that's all. I think Dana White doesn't care that much about fighting. I think he just cares about money. He's
Yeah.
a promoter. And he's a phenomenal promoter because of that. But that's why you're getting the guys who are getting the push are the guys who are good on the mic, and you're going to get way more super fights than the proper rankings fights. You know,
Yeah.
you're going to see guys like Jimmy Rivera have to sit and wait a while until whatever goes on in the 35 division. You're going to see that whole 55 division tied up. Poirier, Alvarez, they're not going to get the fights they want right away. You know, it's a lot. It's money.
Yeah.
Right now, I feel like the UFC is it's a young guy's game right now. If you're a guy coming up who doesn't care about that, you could get so many fights in a year now because so many of the top half of the rankings are tied up. That young guys can fight a ton.
Speaking of which, who are they having? They're having Yair Rodriguez fight.
Oh, Zabit.
Yeah, Zabit.
That's
gonna
gonna
be crazy.
fucking nuts.
When's the last time Yair fought? It wasn't Frankie.
Was it Frankie? I think it was Frankie.
Really? Then he's been out of it for a minute,
Yeah,
right?
can you double check that? I mean,
Yeah, I'm
that's
gonna double
been
check that right now.
A while. I mean, and that was like a fucking prime time ass beating.
Talk
Yeah,
about
that
a
was-
change of pace for them promoting Zabit.
Yeah.
Because Zabit was on the Fight Pass prelims of his last card until there was
An
fighters
injury.
dropping out, injuries went on, got bumped up, and now to fighting a big name.
Yeah.
I mean, Zabit's one of the most talented fighters, and we've talked about it a lot.
I feel like that last fight really kind of like was like a clarifying, like, okay, this
Yeah.
guy's legit.
So on Sunday, it'll have been 1 year since Yair Rodriguez fought, and the last fight was against Frankie.
Holy
At
shit.
211.
Wow.
been a minute,
1
man.
year. Man, I
was-
wonder if that
'cause-
is a decision he made or something that's being decided for him.
I mean, he got his ass beat so badly, and he was on such a roll before that. I'm sure
He wasn't
had
ready
to-
for Frankie.
Could have been
No.
an injury
Should've-
thing.
I
Could be an
didn't-
injury as well.
It's a cool fight. And it was an exciting matchup to make because Yair is such a good striker. But I didn't like that, man. I don't like when they do that. And I've said it before on the podcast. I hope they don't do that with guys like O'Malley. I like the matchup. Something like Yair Zabit. Two young, promising prospects.
Yeah.
Match them up against each other.
Yeah.
Let them go at it. Don't let them get the experience before they fight the experienced guys.
I agree.
You know?
I agree.
Have you guys seen this on this season of The Ultimate Fighter? The violent Bob Ross.
I've seen stuff
No,
online
what's
about him.
going
I
on?
haven't watched.
Wow.
What
He
is it?
looks just like Bob Ross, the painter.
Oh, really?
And his nickname's the Violent Bob Ross. I watched his fight. I think the UFC has a huge prospect on their
Nice.
hands. He's the closest thing I've seen to John Jones in a long time.
Oh no shit! I don't like the
He's
assumption
tall,
that.
he's super tall. He's his reach is absurd, and he was throwing elbows and kicks from angles that most people can't throw an elbow from.
Oh shit!
Just coming at weird, and I mean, once he has no power behind it. I mean, he landed so many elbows and kicks that he should have knocked out his opponent in the Ultimate Fighter. He didn't, but his face was mangled. I mean, this guy is legit.
Wow.
I hope he wins it because he definitely deserves a chance.
What weight class is it?
I think it's 155s.
Oh wow.
I'm not certain.
Sure,
though.
sure, sure. I mean, what the fuck do I care?
It's fun to watch though, because Cormier. I've been watching a few of the episodes. If UFC fans are watching this, it's gonna turn them on Cormier's side. I mean, the way he works with the young fighters.
I like Cormier.
He's my favorite fighter. I'm the biggest Cormier.
Whoa,
I love Daniel
okay.
Cormier. Mostly because everyone hated him, and it never made any sense to me. But the way he works with the fighters, and like when he sees something he doesn't like, he gets rid of the coach and he gets down there and rolls with them. I respect the dude, man. He is a fun fighter to watch. And if John Jones never existed, he's the best light heavyweight of all time.
Yeah.
It's a cool tool, that show, to be able to see how coaching happens in MMA and see how certain people teach and encourage and how other people's don't. And like I'm an instructor and that's my job. And I pride myself on figuring out how to make a student move forward. And my thing has always been some people need to be pushed and some people need to be pulled.
Yeah.
And knowing how to get them forward is all that matters. I don't matter. And I've learned so much from like the early seasons of like when the GSP versus Koscheck season of The Ultimate Fighter taught me so much.
Koscheck.
And it's like it's a cool thing to have. Like the same, pardon me, I feel the same way about open workout videos.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy to me that those don't have more views because you can get real cool little details as a fighter on how a fighter is working on a specific skill set or how a coach deals with a problem.
Yeah.
And it's like, even though they don't show too much in open workouts because they don't want to give away any secrets of a game plan, but you still can see how they break down
It's fascinating.
a thing. Yeah.
What did you learn from the Koscheck GSP season?
Oh man, just how to treat a person you're teaching and how to lead by example.
Yeah.
Like Koscheck was like a very skilled fighter, but like he was a natural. And when you're a natural, you don't understand that you have to drill something and you have to kind of do your homework on it.
That's so interesting.
And his fighters were almost all the time like, I want to train today. Can we train more? And like, let's go do this other thing. And from my memory, I'm pretty sure some people wanted to go to GSP's workouts and like, cause he was bringing in other kind of coaches and he was like showing them different ideas that weren't even MMA, but they help grow the part of your brain that's problem solving. And like I think he brought in like a motivational speaker. Like it was just like I think to change things up, to assess weaknesses specifically and work on them one at a time, and not just be like spar.
Yeah.
So, like, no, you only use lead side. You only worry about takedowns. Go. Like
Yeah.
be specific with what your
So-
rounds.
That's so interesting that the naturally gifted athlete probably won't. There's a good chance they won't make a great teacher because they didn't need to be taught that much,
Exactly.
or as much. And that's kind of true. You see that in basketball where it's like some of the good basketball coaches are guys like Steve Kerr, Kevin McHale, Jason Kidd, who are all great players, but they're not extremely naturally talented athletes. Like you'd probably rather have Stephen Curry teaching you basketball than Allen Iverson. Like
Exactly.
a guy who's just a freak out of the gate is not going to teach as much.
I remember, I'm not saying I was at a level of great, but
Sure.
I was a very good pitcher.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and I remember when I was thrusted into having to coach younger kids,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how to just not tell them, like, just go be good.
right.
I didn't know how to tell them that because sometimes you have it or you don't. And it's like, just go throw it and strike them out. I don't know what you want from me.
Right.
And teaching is such a different, like, it's funny because in baseball, I had to work hard to get where I was at and to
Sure,
get college
sure.
paid for and to be at a high level. But it was never where I had to overexert myself because I was a good pitcher.
Yeah.
I was blessed with
It was
a
in your
change-
bones, yeah.
I was blessed with a changeup that most people wouldn't be able to throw. I never threw hard. I threw a great changeup, and that coasted. I never got rocked. You know, I had a whole career, gave up 3 home runs.
What's
in my
rocked me?
memory? Like just giving up a ton of runs.
Okay.
And which side note, there was a pitcher yesterday in the major leagues. Dylan Bundy used to be a big prospect. I used to know the kid. He started the game for the Orioles. First inning, he has the record now, the only major league pitcher in the modern era to give up 4 home runs in an inning without getting a single out.
Jesus.
He gave up 10 runs in the first inning and got taken out before he got a single out.
Oh, that's bad.
My God.
Oh, it's so
Oh, that's a bad
embarrassing.
record to have.
Yeah, not only is that bad, but it ruins your ERA.
Oh,
His
boy.
stats mean everything. But yeah, and then to transition to comedy, like when young kids come for advice, I know how to teach it them because I wasn't good when I started. You know, it's easier to teach something that was taught to you. Mm-hmm. I guess baseball that makes no sense.
What I've
Just be
noticed-
good, guys.
Just be good already.
Yeah.
Freddie Roach is a great one where it's like I think the best coaches are the ones who get close to
I love Freddie
being
Roach.
elite, but didn't make it, so they have that frustration, and they're trying to fix that by coaching. And that
Yeah.
passion
Oh,
is what helps
100%.
push their fighters forward or players forward. But it's like
Roger Mayweather.
exactly. These people that like almost made it, and then that they still have that drive to make it. Because once you make it, like you're talking about your friends who like I'm not trying to prove myself as a fighter because I did it. I know I can do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's been quelled. That's been kind of taken care of.
That's
but
so
if it
interesting.
never made it, like still have that aggression in me, and or still have that anger where it's like I gotta prove something. So you might do it through your fighters, and it's like I would much rather have a coach who nobody knew about but was skilled than a natural, because very rarely can a natural break down the steps you need to take to get either a certain technique or forward in your career.
Yeah, it's like how could you have the passion to get someone somewhere where you've already been?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You want to take someone to an area you've never explored. Then it's exciting for everyone.
Yeah.
Dude,
if it's not exciting for you,
No,
I
I'd love
have
to be
noticed that in
excited.
comedy too. I write with my friend Steve, and he's just like a phenomenal joke writer, like perfect, not a wasted syllable, and it's amazing. And I learned so much just from writing with him. And you can kind of tell him like this. He would be so much better to tell a young comic what to do than me, because I don't think of any of this stuff that he thinks of when he goes into writing. I'm going to be like, fucking just make the crowd like you. Just have them be charming.
Right.
That's not good advice.
Yeah, be likable is a tough.
Yeah, good advice is word placement and voice inflection and all these,
yeah.
word efficiency, all these
it's so
things.
tough when people ask for advice in comedy, especially ones who haven't done it yet. I don't know if it's my favorite saying of all time. I probably said it here before, but David Letterman had this story where he goes, someone asked him if they should do stand-up, and Letterman goes, if you wanted to be a comic, you'd be doing it by now.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
That's
and
great.
that's what and people hate hearing when kids that I knew from the past, like they're 26 now, they reach out to me, hey, should I do stand-up? I'm like, if you really want to do it, you'd be doing it by now.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, if you want something, you're not going to ask if you should do it.
Mm-hmm. It's tough because I started late stand-up wise. I was much older than you guys are now, and you're ahead of me.
You're still younger than us.
So crazy. How weird is that? I used fighting to distract myself from what my goal was because I was scared of it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did, though, because I not only have more things to talk about, I guess, but like I know fighting quickly taught me who I truly was. And that's only because that's what I needed to teach me. I think anything can teach you who you are, but that's what helped me. And it's like I'm glad I was scared and I kind of use a distraction to keep me from doing it because I have
See, I'm
a
envious
livelihood
of you because you got to grow up outside of comedy.
exactly.
Growing up in comedy is a terrible place to
It
grow
seems
up.
fucking terrible, man.
I mean, the years I should have been in college partying,
Mm-hmm.
I was on the road in fucking the middle of nowhere telling jokes to people who didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's having to grow up when everyone in the scene sees you and knows you. It's a terrible thing because naturally at 19 you're gonna be a dick.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't have that experience necessarily, but what I've noticed from starting so young is that like what sucks is when because there's so many shitty, like if you're in entertainment, it's a competition, and if you're gonna be around people who are gonna be shitty to you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're 19 years old and there's a 38-year-old guy and he is trying to hold you back because he's bitter or he just doesn't like you or whatever it is, and you have adults, grown men, being shitty to you when you're 19, it makes you grow up in a way where you don't. I don't know you. It sucks to have to learn that people can be shitty that young and in that way and from your peers.
Yes.
That's
the worst.
It makes you grow up quick in a weird way, and that's the only thing that sucked about from starting so young in comedy is that.
It's funny
you
because
know?
when I started to get like a little bit of success, the first hate came from my peers who were my age because I was making the step above them to take it to the next level. And then when I actually like solidified myself and like started headlining on the road, started making a couple bucks.
Oh, they made
That's
you fat.
when the old guy. This isn't solid. That's when the older guys came in and started fucking talking shit. Because at first they don't care because you're not a threat. Once they see you as a threat in comedy is the dumbest thing.
Sure.
Right now, I mean,
I threaten people
anyone who's a
physically.
white comic you're not a threat anymore if you're a white comic.
Yeah.
I said this. So I was with I was with a comic. He's really cool, and he's
Oh, me?
he's older.
Oh, me?
Really cool.
He's in
Oh.
he's a really cool, insightful
Let me have
guy.
a
And
sip of his wine cooler.
He's in he's in his late 30s, and he was saying that when he first started in New York, he was so bitter and jealous and angry at Usama Siddiqui because Usama was young and just so good at stand-up and had made all the decisions that this guy wished he made at Usama's age. And then for a while, he just would make up things in his head, reasons why he thought Usama was like a shitty person or shitty towards him. And then when he sat back one day, he realized that he was just so bitter and jealous towards Usama. And he immediately changed his tune. He's like, let me just learn from this guy because I clearly admire so deeply what he does and wish I could do some of the things Usama does. So he just started kind of taking notes of it and admitted to Usama that he felt this way towards him, and they kind of, whatever, patched it up. And then he just started using Usama as inspiration for his comedy. But what I told him, I was like, what sucks about that? From his, it's first of all, it's amazing that he had the self-awareness
Yeah,
to
for
recognize
sure.
that and go the other
A lot of
direction.
people don't have that.
But I was like, I felt what Usama probably felt from this guy. And I was like, what sucks from his point of view is he probably knew that because he could just feel your vibe, but he's never allowed to call that out because he's going to sound crazy.
And
you can't be
arrogant.
like, yes, you're going to sound like an arrogant, crazy lunatic if you're like, this guy's jealous of me and he's bitter towards me and he's cold to me because of that. And he makes backhanded comments and it's because he's jealous of me because of my age or whatever I'm doing. You can never say that. So you just have to live with these guys treating you badly because of something that you can't control. Honestly, because of something you're doing right.
Because of following your fucking dream.
Yeah, it
The real
sucks.
crazy part of
And
that
Usama
story
sucks.
is that Usama is a shitty person.
I hate him. He was so nice to me when I started.
I should say, Usama, my first ever opener. He was the first guy I used. Him and Chike would feature for me on the road.
nice.
Ballsy.
Yeah, it was no fun.
I used to do
Because
this.
like I'm in the middle. Oh, sorry. I'm
no,
in the
no,
middle
please.
of high energy, and when I'm doing an hour, sometimes I'll be really high energy. Sometimes I'll crescendo it.
I love to crescendo.
And Usama, when he's doing 20 before you and is super high energy, then I come out with my sort of high energy. They're like, "Oh, this guy's just trying to mimic him."
Yeah.
I was like, "No, it's just." And I
The
learned
other-
quickly he
and
was not
Chike
the.
is just like cool as fuck.
Chike's the ideal opener.
Yeah.
he's fucking fantastic. He kills, and he doesn't make the energy so high. But Usama's a tough follow.
When Chris Rock, he is. When Chris Rock started really hitting the road, when he was like developing Bring the Pain and Bigger Blacker, he had Mario Joyner opening for him, and
Seinfeld's opener.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Seinfeld's opener as well, and they both said that Joyner was like the best opener because he basically he would kill and he would get the audience laughing really hard, but he had this kind of cool energy and this way of like setting it up. He almost perfectly set it up for the headliner, where it's like this guy's not going to bomb, he's going to do very well, but he's not going to like get a standing ovation with some high energy act out closer,
Maybe it's arrogant of me or I don't know, but like the idea of someone calling me a ideal opener hurts my feelings.
Yeah.
I know what they mean, but it's like
Yeah,
I don't
you'd
want
rather
that.
be told like I don't want you to open for me because it's
Yeah.
going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not opening for anyone. So like I should be wanting that, like I always take it as a compliment when a bigger comic asks me if I have a car. That's my favorite. It's the best compliment I get at this point. But
I had
I
one
don't
this
know.
past week where a comic who I'm not going to name any names is clearly below me.
Oh, me.
No, they reached out to me and they said, "Hey, could you do 40 minutes for $200 at this club in next month?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." I mean, that's not the pay I'd usually.
Sure,
but yeah.
sure. All right.
And then I was like, "Oh, they're asking me to open for them," and like instead of like last year I would have been like, "Fuck no, I'm above this." Now I'm like, let me just go do what I'm gonna do and
Yeah.
see what happens.
Right.
Let's see the party that unfolds after this.
You're finally getting older because the let's see what happens thing is a thing that starts happening where you're like, fuck it, let's just see what the
Yeah.
fuck happens. This is life.
Yeah.
Let me get some stories.
This is on you. Let's see.
Exactly. You made the quote unquote mistake of booking someone to open you that is a much stronger comedian.
Yeah.
So, either they are somehow smart enough to know that
They also
by you
actually
having-
do 40, which means they're probably not even planning on doing
right
an hour.
by having you open for them, it will up their game, which I very much respect.
Yeah.
Or B, are too stupid or unself aware to know that they're not as strong as they think they are.
Yeah, I mean, the choosing the opener is crazy.
Oh, I can only imagine.
I
have to
use.
pee. Go,
We
continue.
could just wrap it
Yeah,
up.
we'll just wrap it up,
okay.
man.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
we're at we're good. Plugs?
Yeah, man. I
LA, yeah.
I'll
This
be in
will out
LA
Friday.
May
Signing autographs.
17th through the 23rd. You can hit me up social media at Luke.Tuma on Instagram, at Luke Tuma on Twitter. You can find out those LA dates. May 15th. Before that, I'll be in Asbury Park, New Jersey. And if you're a Fisher in New York City and you're listening to this, I am headlining for my first time in the city at the Pit Loft on
What?
Saturday, May 26th.
That's so great. We'll be there. I'll fucking be there, man.
Thanks, man. I'm excited.
We need a hashtag for the week. I say we go with LA Luke. I think that's very funny.
Hashtag LA Luke.
Hashtag LA Luke.
Yes.
You
Hashtag
piece of
LA
shit.
Luke.
You're going to come back with sunglasses on fucking permanently.
Come back with a fucking leather jacket like a douchebag.
Hashtag LA Luke.
Follow me at this Diego Lopez. All I ask for you, just give the podcast a 5-star review and tell a friend. Tell one friend. You got a friend that likes MMA? How about tell them? They might like this. You got a
Yes.
friend who wants to have sex with me? Tell me. Tell me their name and address.
And review that as well.
oh no, please don't review that.
And for me, it's at Dan Lamort. Zany Chicago, May 22nd to 27th. 9 shows, 6 days. Let's party.
And real quick before we end off, Diego,
I don't like this review.
You don't like this review?
It was way too nice towards me.
Yeah, we got it. We have We have a couple reviews to read. We have. No, we read this one last time, so we got one review. Again, guys, if you review us and give us a 5-star rating, as
Also
long as you
include
write.
everyone and don't be a dick like this review.
Well, so we have some new ratings, but if you put the review itself, so that you can rate or review, but if you put the 5-star review and you write something, we'll read your review on the podcast. This is our only new one, and the title is Dan is the Best, and it's a bunch of emojis with crying face, laughing emojis. And then the review is, and this has got to be Dan who
I
wrote
swear it
this
wasn't
review.
me.
Was it you?
I swear to
really?
God.
It was either Dan
I know
or,
who it was because they sent me a screenshot
it
of
was
it on
either
Twitter.
Dan or Dan's mom.
It's a random person on Twitter.
Oh, well, congrats on this. It says, you guys are awesome. The whole gang is good, but Dan is why I come back. Nerd face emoji, beer emoji, beer emoji, beer emoji.
That could also be because I just harp on it on Twitter, review the podcast.
Hey,
the
man,
podcast.
people love you. But yeah, guys, leave us a rating or review. Thank you so much for listening.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget, hashtag LA Luke. Good night.
Love
Good
you.
morning. Good afternoon.